The sun was just beginning to rise over the dense tropical island, casting long shadows through the thick trees. A lone cow, unaware of the impending danger, grazed quietly near a cluster of bushes. Its movements were slow and deliberate, the sound of its chewing mingling with the distant calls of birds. The air was heavy with humidity, and the ground was slightly damp from the morning dew. Unbeknownst to the cow, several pairs of eyes were watching it intently from the underbrush. These were no ordinary predators. This was a group of Komodo dragons, large and menacing, their tongues flicking in and out as they tasted the scent of their next meal. Komodo dragons are not known for hunting in groups, but the scent of the cow's flesh had drawn them together in a rare display of cooperation. The first dragon, the largest of the group, slowly emerged from the shadows, its massive body moving with a quiet, terrifying grace. It was followed by another, and then another, until a total of 7 Komodo dragons had encircled the unsuspecting cow. Each dragon was nearly 10 feet long, their muscular bodies covered in rough, scale-like skin, blending perfectly with the surrounding environment. The cow's ears twitched as it heard the faint rustling of leaves, but it continued to graze, oblivious to the danger. The largest dragon, clearly the leader, crept closer, its claws digging into the soft earth as it approached. The air was thick with tension, the only sounds being the faint crunch of grass and the steady, rhythmic breathing of the dragons. Suddenly, the leader struck, launching itself at the cow with a speed that belied its size. Its powerful jaws clamped down on the cow's hind leg, the sharp teeth sinking deep into the flesh. The cow let out a panicked bellow, its eyes wide with fear as it tried to kick the dragon off. But the dragon held firm, its immense weight dragging the cow to the ground. As the cow struggled, the other dragons moved in. The second dragon latched onto the cow's neck, its teeth piercing the thick hide. The third and fourth dragons bit into the cow's side, tearing at the flesh with relentless ferocity. Blood began to pour from the wounds, staining the grass a deep red. The cow's struggles became more frantic, its legs kicking out wildly as it tried to free itself from the deadly grip of the dragons. But the dragons were too strong, their combined weight pinning the cow to the ground. The leader released its grip on the hind leg and moved to the cow's belly, ripping it open with a single powerful bite. The cow's intestines spilled out, the stench of blood and entrails filling the air. Despite the cow's desperate attempts to escape, it was clear that it was no match for the pack of Komodo dragons. The cow's movements grew weaker, its bellows turning into pitiful moans as its life slowly ebbed away. The dragons continued to feast, tearing chunks of flesh from the cow's body with brutal efficiency. The sound of ripping flesh and crunching bones echoed through the clearing, a grim reminder of the savage nature of the hunt. As the minutes passed, the cow's struggles ceased entirely. Its body lay limp on the ground, blood pooling around it. The dragons, now covered in blood, continued to devour the carcass, their hunger insatiable. They tore through muscle and bone with ease, consuming every part of the cow with a methodical, almost mechanical precision. The leader of the group raised its head, its jaws dripping with blood and gore, and looked around as if ensuring that no other predators would dare approach. Satisfied, it returned to its meal, joining the others in their gruesome feast. The once serene and peaceful clearing had been transformed into a scene of pure carnage, the ground littered with scraps of flesh and bone. For over 5 minutes, the Komodo dragons fed, their bodies heaving with the effort of consuming such a large prey. The cow, once a symbol of strength and vitality, was reduced to nothing more than a lifeless, bloodied carcass. The dragons, now sated, began to retreat one by one, their massive bellies bulging with the meal they had consumed. As the last dragon disappeared into the underbrush, the clearing fell silent once more. The only evidence of the brutal attack was the blood-soaked ground and the remains of the cow, left behind as a stark reminder of the raw, unforgiving power of nature. The sun had risen fully by now, casting a golden light over the scene. But the beauty of the morning was lost in the shadow of the violence that had just occurred. In the end, the cow had no chance against the relentless hunger of the Komodo dragons. It was a display of nature at its most brutal, a reminder that in the wild, survival is often a matter of strength, numbers, and sheer unyielding.